Here's the field for the Santa Anita Derby heading to the paddock from the receiving barn. Number 2, the eventual winner, Exaggerator. Let's see if we can figure out how Exaggerator's running style differs from Nyquist and which one of these running styles is going to be successful in the Kentucky Derby. The DeSormo brothers made a slick change in strategy for this race, and it really paid off. Normally, they are moving much closer to the pace, coming from way off at the beginning, but making a move on the back stretch almost a quarter of a mile earlier than they did today. I took this video today, so you'll have to excuse all the umbrellas that get between me and the field, but you can see from the break here that Ken DeSormo in the green and white silks just lets that horse kind of lope on out of the gate and doesn't use him hard at all. Exaggerator's leisurely exit from the starting gate left him about 17 lengths behind the leader, Dancing Candy, by the time they reached the quarter pole. Peak speed for Dancing Candy was 43.4 miles per hour as opposed to Exaggerator's 40.1 miles per hour. And average speed during that first quarter of a mile for Dancing Candy was 40.9 miles per hour versus Exaggerator's 37.8. Consider this in terms of energy expended or energy saved. When you double the speed, you quadruple the force of drag in aerodynamics. Therefore, in terms of pure physics, Dancing Candy is using a lot more energy than he appears to be using when you consider just that 3 miles per hour difference in their speed. When you combine that with the off-track, the footing, and the weight of mud that these horses are carrying. Notice that these horses do not have their tails tied, and they can carry 10 pounds of mud or more in their tails. It adds up to a heck of a lot of work this horse is doing. Now let's take a look at Nyquist's opening quarter in the Florida Derby and see how that compares to Exaggerator. Note that there is a definite error in the Trackist numbers here. If you look at the peak speeds of these horses, they are way off by about 10 miles per hour. These horses did not approach 50 miles per hour at any point during the race, so there's an error in the peak speed. When the Trackist numbers were first posted for this race, the peak speed for Nyquist was 40.0 or 40.1 miles per hour. What's important here, though, is the average speed during that first quarter mile for Nyquist, and that was 39.1 miles per hour. That's 23.6 seconds for that quarter mile, and that's a fairly slow pace for horses of this caliber. The significance of this is that Mario Gutierrez, Nyquist's jockey, was able to settle the horse down and maintain a very easy pace. Now let's take a look at the stretch run and see how the numbers have changed. It appears that Exaggerator is blowing by horses here at a high rate of speed. He's just totally outrunning these horses. He looks great. But the numbers tell a different story. His average speed has dropped from 37.8 miles per hour to 34 miles per hour. He is slowing way down. Dancing Candy dropped from 40.9 miles per hour to 30.6 miles per hour, a 2-minute clip. And More Spirit has dropped from 39.8 to 33.7. The illusion is that Exaggerator is speeding past these horses, when in reality, these horses have hit a brick wall and are backing up into his lap. So Exaggerator's final furlong averaged 34 miles per hour. In the Florida Derby, Nyquist's final furlong averaged 35.6. A much stronger finish. So in the run-up to the Kentucky Derby, you're going to hear a lot of talk about Exaggerator's strong finish in the Santa Anita Derby. But I think when you look at these numbers and use your head a little bit, it's easy to see Nyquist looked a lot stronger in the Florida Derby. And here's one more thing to consider. Doug O'Neill. This trainer has made some really significant changes in the way he's conditioning Nyquist. This horse is not doing the conventional workout the way Exaggerator does, where they work, say, 5 furlongs in around a minute. Half a mile of an easy gallop warm-up, and then off they go. Nyquist is doing the easy half a mile gallop to get warmed up, but then his workouts are a full mile. The first 3 furlongs may be about a 2-minute clip, around 30 miles per hour. But then he picks up the end of it and finishes with a normal 5 furlong time of around a minute. That way, Nyquist is getting a feel for the longer distances. His heart rate and stamina are all going to benefit from this. No one else is doing this kind of innovative training. However, I think I will be from now on.
Are you going to be the first guy to win the Derby after winning the Best Pal?
I hope so.
No one else has done it.
Really?
That's right.
That could be us. He's doing good, so our fingers are crossed.
In my opinion, Nyquist is still the strong favorite and the horse to beat for this year's Kentucky Derby.